I looked over at him. I was like, I go to my wife, I go, that's Elliot Spitzer. And she's like, what? And I was like, that's Elliot Spitzer. And then I look over at him, he goes,
oh. I remember I saw him at the, when Seth did the White Horse.
The White
Horse Correspondence Dinner when he made Trump. He loves it when you say that. Elliot Spitzer was there, and I had done him on the show a couple of times, and I go, hey, I appreciate you being cool with the impression. I know you're not being mad about it or whatever. And he goes, who says I'm not mad at you? And he was like, ah. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, no. That's him putting his arm around me. That's object work.
All right, Nick fans, let's go around, see who's here. Oh my God.
Oh no. Boo.
But I forgot to tell you I saw Spitzer, and I thought now would be a good time to do it. That was the first thing we ever wrote.
We did write. We wrote a thing that was called so John's first episode was the guy, the swimmer?
Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps. And so, yeah, I don't follow sports. All right, I'm an artist.
He just got off a plane.
Just give me come on.
You name an Olympian, you know?
So we want to do a thing called Putting on the Spitz, where Andy was going to be Mark Spitz. Shut the fuck up. It's funny.
It was funny in 08.
It's in 08 it killed.
At
So
the
Andy
table.
Samberg was going to be Mark Spitz, and then I was Elliot Spitzer, his
Band leader.
band leader.
It was Elliot Spitzer and the Schizophrenics was the band on
And he goes,
Mark Spitz show.
and he said at one point, what? How's that?
He goes, how's that whole thing that happened?
I go, it's a thing that will not die. Bow, bow, bow.
And it did well at the table, and then they didn't.
They did not like it. And then Seth Meyers and I wrote a Vincent Price sketch that night, and we were writing it, and we go, we should bring the new guy in, John.
Hey guys. Hi everybody.
And we go, we should bring John in and see, if he's got anything for this. And so we were throwing around stuff, and I was like, oh man, it'd be good if Vincent Price said something to Liberace. I don't know if you guys remember, Fred Armisen played Liberace. And we go, hey, Liberace, whatever, and what can he say? And John was quiet the whole time, kind of nervous. And John goes, oh, he could say, save your sassiest sides for your windowless bars. I was like, that's like a perfect joke.
It's always good when it's like, what would Vincent Price say to Liberace?
And then John
you've been waiting 25 years to go.
I remember another one that John did. Do you remember what we never got on? We had a sketch that was, it was like James L. Brooks did a samurai movie.
Yes. James L. Brooks called But What If You're Wrong?
But What If You're Wrong, yeah. And it was like a samurai movie.
Yeah.
And so it was us as samurai, and it was me and Fred, and I think Ben Stiller was hosting. And it was like, honor, death, and then it was like, she's moving in, It's
from writer-director James L.
Brooks. It was like, oh, walking on sunshine. and then I go, oh, we need something. And it was all stuff like, yeah, we went on one date. Now I have a Netflix subscription. Stuff like that. And then John pitched this line, which I'll never forget. I go, what's a James L. Brooks type line? And you go, look, in the book of life, I just want to be in the acknowledgments. I couldn't come up with that if my life depended on that. John said that, and I was like, all right, fuck you, man. You're the greatest comedy writer of all time. But how the hell did you come up with that?
I forgot about that.
Oh my God, in the book of life, I just want to be in acknowledgments. Made me laugh for like 25 minutes.
I just remember we had a shot where you guys are walking through Central Park, like with coffee, as samurai with swords, in a walk and talk, and I think that's when that line.
And then the woman, and then the geishas were.
Fast walking.
Speed walking, and then one of them ran into a pole, and she went. Whoa. And then at the end, I cut a guy's head off, and so I got a guy's head, and I go, he was married. I did him a favor.
And then it's like, I just think that, like two people like us can find love. And he goes, but what if you're wrong? And then it slams to the title, but what if you're wrong?
And Lauren was like, no. We are not doing that.
I remember he said he was looking at it because he has a board, like a general of cards that say every sketch name, and it said like samurai.
He's also dressed like a general, too.
Yeah, people don't know that, but he dresses in a full Idi Amin general's outfit. And never made it into any of the books. But yeah, epaulets. He adds a lot of medals.
That don't exist. For things that don't exist.
Yeah. Best at agriculture. You're like, okay.
All right, relax.
I remember he looked at that and he was like, I don't get why it's samurai, and I don't get why it's James O. I was like, well, then I think we shouldn't do it.
Oh, that was one of my favorite things.
All the best things didn't get on.
We did this one that we tried to get on a couple of times called the Kasems, which was Casey Kasem. It was Dana Carvey was playing Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
It was late at night, and he hears something, and he comes out, and he goes, who's out there? I'm Casey Kasem. And then it's me, and I go, Dad, it's not a burglar or a raccoon. It's me, your son, J.C. Kasem. Son, get out of here. Dad, hear me out. Son, I never want to speak to you again. No, Dad, hear me.
I remember he goes like, he's like, I've heard you run up debts all around the city and even burn down your last apartment. And how did you hear that, Dad? Here's a letter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He goes, you always ask me, when are you going to move out of the house? When are you going to get a job? And what recording artist had more #1 hits?
The answer, Mariah Carey.
With a letter.
17.
But seriously, Dad. And it's like, you must have mistaken our house for a pile of cocaine.
And
It was the funniest. It was the hardest I had ever laughed writing with John. I think we were we were both crying, laughing, just doing Casey Kasem voices.
We couldn't get a sentence out, which was, he goes, Dad, there's bad guys after me. And he's like, son, if they come at you, I'll run at them like a Lebanese torpedo.
If they come at me, I'll fly at them like a Lebanese torpedo.
That's a really, really jarring. Thank you for laughing, because we did it and no one did.
No one laughed. But then John did a show at Largo. He does these great shows at Largo, and he was in LA.
Said it. Yeah.
And he came out and he goes, I have this sketch, and he was doing stand-up, and he goes, I have this sketch that I did, the Kasems, and with me, with Bill and Dana and Kristen Wiig played the mom, and it's like, so I want to play it up here with the audience. So who wants to play Kristen? And this young girl got up. And, okay, so you'll play Kristen, and to play Dana and Bill. Bill, and me and Dana Carvey came out, and then the girl was like. And then we did this sketch with this audience member, and it was really fun.
But I just, like, the last time it had been performed, it was just silence. Like,
pure
silence. And
like, you could hear my feet walking. I was like,
yeah, you could hear like the gate close.
Yeah, you'd be like,
Dad.
And I was like, oh. And that awful thing where I'm looking in Dana Carvey's eyes and he's looking at me like, this is not gonna make it to air, buddy.
Yeah. Later, that same episode, I had a sketch that we worked on together, which was a celebrity crisis line where it was we would call these impression parades, and they're not the highest art form, but you got 90 minutes to fill, okay? So it was all these different celebrities answering a crisis phone line, and it was an excuse to have Dana Carvey do Mickey Rooney, and which the public was really clamoring for, and. Anyway, right after the sketch ended, I was leaving. It died, and it was on air.
Terrible.
It played terribly.
Total silence.
I was leaving the control room, and our 93-year-old lighting designer, Phil Himes, went, "Not your best work," and he was 93.
Phil walks. He's like a ghost. Like he kind of just. Like, if he was here right now, he would just do a slow cross.
And then he would fix one gel, and you'd all go, yeah, that's...
Yeah, that makes sense. And then I'd be like...
I was like he was 93. I was like 27 and crashing from Adderall, so we were in the same place emotionally. So I was like, why, Phil? What was wrong with it? You know, like.
He's like, don't talk to me like that, John.
Yeah. I remember Phil Himes went, you know what was wrong with that sketch? None of the people sounded like the people.
I did Alan Alda in that sketch. I did pretty good Alan Alda.
You did a good Alan Alda.
I did okay in Alan Alda in that sketch, but he did, and Kristen did,
Everyone was good.
fuck Phil, man.
Oh my God! One time we had a piece where Fred was playing Obama, and it was like a Christmas in the White House. So he had to walk to the window, and Seth and I were going like, you know how we're like in front of the fake Oval Office, and Phil, we're just talking out loud. We're like, yeah, but the White House should look like there should be light on the windows. And so, like, it doesn't, I know it doesn't reflect, but, like, there's light on the windows, and Phil walked through, and he went, I lit John Kennedy in the White House, and then walked out. Barry is on HBO.
Yeah.
Is there anything
No, man, no.
Right.
You guys want to go? You
take
guys
some
want to ask questions?
Yes. We're going to open it up to questions. I think microphones have to be put in place. Oh, they are there? All right. Does anything happen, or it just starts? Well,
where's the mic?
there.
Oh, it's right up here.
Okay.
And there's one right up here. Wow, you guys get really
You
close
can form
to us.
single file lines, and we'll raise the house.
Oh, whoa! Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Look at all these people! Holy shit! Hi! I only can see to here. This is crazy. Hi, everybody. Oh man, I hope this has been worth your. Oh man, I didn't realize any people.
Oh, did you not know there was a
I did not
balcony?
see the balcony. No, I'm blind.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel bad.
No,
I feel terrible.
What about when we did Casey Kasem for 20 minutes?
They were like, I went to this thing about Barry and I learned all about these sketches that never made it to air.
Yeah. Why don't we start over here? Hello, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Noah,
It's Noah.
and I love the show, and I was just wondering if John would ever possibly guest star.
No.
Just like
No.
maybe Barry
I
kills.
know. I know what you're gonna pitch. No.
Just stop.
I don't want to give him a bigger head that he already has. The guy's, he's the best stand-up in the universe. I can't give him that. No, he is. He's the greatest stand-up comedian in America right now. I can't. I want people watching us, not John.
Noah.
Noah, get the fuck back to your seat.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Andy.
Andy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My question is for Bill. So you've been really open about like working with like your anxiety on SNL and that type of thing. What would you suggest for someone who wants to go down a similar career path but is like managing those similar things?
It's hard. John can also attest how anxious I would get before things. I would get very, very scared.
And I have panic attack
Yes.
disorder as well. So.
We both are very panicky.
No, I mean in all seriousness.
No, in all seriousness, we have like real, like, it's a thing you kind of just manage your whole life. I do TM, I do meditation. I honestly, it's like it's like all the kind of fun things like, I don't drink anymore, and like all these things. You have to like really like to work, like exercise, not to like look better, but just to like not be a basket case. This is what happens when you hit 40.
Yeah. Sugar and caffeine. Before stand-up, I really can't touch those. And I take Wellbutrin, and I'll take the occasional Klonopin if I'm feeling very.
Yeah. I take Lexapro.
Yeah.
But
Really, by the way, Wellbutrin, no applause. Lexapro.
Wellbutrin people are like, oh, man, we got to figure out what Lexapro's doing. We got to get. Oh shit, guys.
Dr. Stein.
Dr. Stein, I want you to switch it to Lexapro. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, to be like this, like loose with my friend John up in front of all these people, just then when I saw that balcony up there, I was like, and it was and it almost was just saying it, just going, oh my gosh, look at all those people. that alleviates it in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I got to a place where I remember I had a therapist. I was like, what do I do? He's like, just say it. And I remember just turning to John before I would have to do update or something and be like, I am so nervous.
Yeah.
You know? And that, like, you're saying it, you're admitting it. You don't. And then the thing is, Jeff Bridges told me a story when he hosted. He goes, he could tell I was nervous. And he said he had worked with Robert Ryan on Iceman Cometh when he was a young guy. And he said Robert Ryan would break out into a sweat before every take. And he said, why do you do that? And he goes, oh, I'd be really afraid if I wasn't afraid, you know? And that you should use that. And as Jeff Bridges said, you know, that's your buddy, man. He goes, put your arm around it, man, and just fucking, you know, it's like, don't worry about it. Thank you. Hope that answered your question.
Try, I guess, Lexapro.
Try Lexapro.
Hi.
Oh, God. Hi. Hello.
We're John and Bill. What's your name?
I'm Emily. Very good. So, on the anxiety thing, I'm a very anxious person. Totally unrelated. Anyways, so my question has escaped me.
Yeah?
Hold on. All right. So, for Bill.
Oh, okay.
You were saying how, like, with SNL and, like, live performances, you get really anxious,
Yeah.
but which one is more nerve-wracking? Like, being a director, producer, writer, lead actor in Barry, or, like, live performances? Like, which is...
A live performance in SNL by far. Like,
Really?
every time we would do stuff on Barry, they would be like, you know, like that Ronnie Lilly episode, I directed it, I wrote it, I'm starring in it, and there's all these things, and there's fight choreography and everything, and everybody, and the producer, Ida Rogers, say, hey, at any moment you need a break, let me know. And I'm like, oh, compared to SNL, it's nothing, you know? Just the live performance, just going out there and not knowing, and going out with a thing that you weren't, a lot of it's confidence, and you get your confidence the more you get up and do it. It's like doing stand-up, or, you know, when I would go do improv shows, and, you know, you do improv shows, you stand at the back of the wall, and everybody else, I would just stay at the wall and not want to, and they'd be like, they would call me out, and I'd be like, oh, you know, because a lot of it is a fear of failure, of looking stupid, of looking silly, and so you have to get. My voice is like getting louder and louder. But you have to. I was lucky enough to find a guy like John